Warfare is a part of human nature, and it goes to show you, as recent events keep showing time and time again, that humans refuse to get along. People would rather fight against each other, troll against each other, and just go against each other rather than come together and try to build something that can be effective for everybody. You see, there was a time where people lived in little communities and they had each other's back, and they made sure that everybody was good. They made sure that everybody in the community was taken care of for the most part. And if you were ostracized, it means that, you weren't able-bodied somehow. You know, and how societies are. If you don't fit in, they kind of throw you to the side and leave you to the wolves. But a young man about 50 to 70 years ago, he could easily find a 9 to 5, find a woman in his life, start a family, and be able to prosper and conquer the world. Nowadays, it just seems financially unfeasible to actually go out there and do the same thing. And a lot of people, even people that email me, a lot of these younger people and people my age and even older are in this economic trap. It's like, you want to be able to do whatever you want. You want financial freedom. You want to be able to travel the world. You want to be able to have that nice girl in your life. You want to be able to get things and, nice things and thrive in life. But it's like, economically, it seems almost impossible. And when you see these Twitch streamers, they make, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. It's like, damn, that's amazing. Some people can't even get $1 million in their entire lifetime. And yet, these people get millions like it's just water falling from a rainstorm in the Amazon. And it's brutal. But it goes to show you that we live in a very unfair world where things outside of your control can dictate so much. When you're born a certain race, when you're born a certain skin color configuration, when you look a certain way, when you have a certain personality, it's very hard to not stick out. Like me, I'm always somebody that's intrigued with secret knowledge and secrets and whatever the government's hiding and things of that nature. That automatically makes me a target from the government. It automatically marks me for assassination, just because I want to realize, what are they hiding? What secrets do they hold? And why are they holding all these secrets? How come they can't just be transparent with the people? They act like the voting matters. Okay, you vote for this person, you vote for that person, and yet the inflation still rises. They never tell you about the people that are behind it all. The people that control the world from the shadows. The people that got everybody fighting on the verge of nuclear proliferation and devastation. They always hide in the shadows, man. You may call them the Illuminati, the elite, the hidden hand, the gray pope, black pope, whatever you want to call them, blood pope, whatever you want to call it. There's something that's leading these nations into devastation. There's no way that we live in this first-class world and we still have poverty. We still have people living in certain situations. And you got people spending $40 million on airplanes. It's ridiculous. It's like the wealth distribution is just not fair. And America is a capitalistic society. It's a dog-eat-dog society. If you can create something and generate something that people are interested in, and you can figure out a way to get rich from that, well, you can probably be successful. If not, man, you're going to be trapped in this vortex of economic depression and destabilization. It's brutal, but it's the world we live in now, and it's going to get more advanced. It's like the controls just going to tighten as these artificial intelligence systems advance, and all these augmentations and enhancements that are integrated seamlessly through society. When that starts to become more seamless, when you start seeing AI everywhere, then it's going to be hard to do anything. Imagine if you miss a bill or something, or imagine you say something wrong about the government, and then all of a sudden they dictate where you cannot live. They dictate how much money you make on the job, with an AI algorithm. They say you say something on Facebook, and then the AI algorithm that starts to dock your pay. You may think, well, there's laws and rules, there's labor laws, rules and regulations in play. You never know what can happen if it's like something like the Patriot Act, the Patriot Act 2.0, or the Patriot Act for the future happens, or something like that, some type of international cyber attack happens, and then all of a sudden, under that pretense, they start to take away your rights. Little by little, they chip away your rights till you have no rights, and you're nothing more than a corporate slave, And then the time you realize this, you can't fight back because they took away your guns, they took away your will to fight, They gave you so many synthesized chemical compositions from eating, from your cell phone, from these 5G frequencies in the air. It just renders you useless when it comes to combat. It renders you just defenseless. We got to understand that the government that we serve under, or the government that we're forced to be under, they're not in it for it. They're not doing it for our good. You know, even after World War II, Britain had this little thing where, after World War II, Britain was practicing this type of nerve gas, and they released it over the city, and they released it over in Britain. Excuse me, throat's bothering me a bit, but yeah, after World War II, Britain released this little nerve gas on its citizens, in certain cities and stuff. And America has been known to do that too. They pick certain cities and certain demographics of people, and they release these government chemical compositions that get people sick, and they die of cancer, and they die early. You can look into what I'm saying. Especially in African American communities. You got the Tuskegee experiment, and there's other experiments and shit too. They'll go in these ghetto areas or these black areas, and they release this military grade, poisonous gas. And people be getting all weird cancers and weird developments. I mean, they be doing this for a while, but they're doing it to their citizens, And it makes you think. If Britain was doing that right after World War II, it starts to put poisonous gas in certain cities against its own citizens, then were the Nazis really the true enemy? Who was the real enemy? We already know the fomentation, integration of the world, all these world wars. We already know who's behind it, the Jays, And the Jays are very mystic, they're very secretive, and they're very careful. They're planning, and they're careful at hiding their deeds. They're the masters at throwing rocks and hiding their hands. They're the masters of deception. And it's not no hatred or anything like that. No, it's just telling the truth. Whoever has the money has the power. If you follow the money, it leads to the Jewish people. Point blank period. They own the banks. If you own the banks, you own the world. You own the money, you own the world. Everybody does what they do for money. So if you own that, you literally own people's souls. I don't think life should be that way. I think we should be more free beings. Beings that can use our spiritual growth and development to actually create a world where everybody can be happy, where everybody can have their own, where everybody, we live in a vast universe. There's plenty for everybody. Everybody should be millionaires. Everybody should have mansions. Everybody should have the happiness that they want. This artificial scarcity just creates more negative energetic manifestational frequency. And I believe that there's interdimensional beings that feed off of our pain, that feed off of our suffering, and they grow stronger. Demons are truly real. You could have them around you. You can have them at the park. You can have them in the mall. You can have them in your home. You can have them at the school, anywhere. So you got to stay safe.